Thank you. And if I could ask all of you to introduce yourselves when you start to speak for the recording, so that we know who's speaking, okay? First time. All right. Okay. Can I welcome all members and officers and others to this meeting of Licensing Act 2003 Subcommittee B, which is being convened as a hybrid meeting. The meeting is being recorded and will be available via the Council's website to be viewed as soon as possible following the meeting. The meeting agenda pack can also be viewed on the Council website. Everyone participating in the meeting will be attending either in the Council chamber or from remote locations. Members attending remotely must keep their cameras on for the duration of the meeting. However, all attendees should keep their microphones off until invited to speak. Members, invitees and officers can indicate whether they want to speak by pressing the hands up icon that's on the computer. I will now proceed to the agenda business. Well, welcome to you all, and this is an application. Yeah, okay. No, apologies for absence. Yeah, there are none. They're there with all you. Any declarations of interest? No. None. So let's go on to item 3, Licensing Act, temporary event notice, objecting to notice by Environmental Health for the Loft Bar Bridge End. Okay. Right. The procedure during the meeting will go like this. I've introduced the subcommittee. The licensing officer will introduce the application, calling for the applicant and or their representative. The application will be outlined and the applicant asked to confirm that it is correct. Right, the licensing officer is who? On the end, that's right. If you could outline the problem.
Oh, do you want to use it? Oh, you are. Okay. Thank you, Chair. Kirsty Evans, Licensing Officer. The purpose of this report is to ask members to consider and determine an objection notice submitted by Environmental Health in a response to a temporary event notice served on the Licensing Authority for 1 Norton Arcade and 20 Norton Street, Bridgend, CF311DU. So just to confirm, Mr. Apsey, you've received a copy of the report? Yeah. Yep, and everything's correct in it. I'll go through it, and if there's anything that you want to say, just say. Okay, so on the 15th of April, the Licensing Authority received a temporary event notice application from Mr. Daniel Apsey in respect of 1 Norton Arcade and 20 Norton Street. The premises is described by the premises user as a bar and function room premises, and the event was described as a bank holiday event. The 10 seeks authorization for the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises and regulated entertainment in the form of recorded music between the hours. So on Sunday, the 4th of May, the early hours, so 1 minute past midnight till 1 a.m. and from 1 minute past 11 p.m. to midnight. And then the early hours of the Monday morning, so Monday the 5th of May, so 1 minute past midnight to 1 a.m. And a copy of the temporary event notice submitted can be found in Appendix A of your reports. So the premises has the benefit of a premises license, which authorises the activities listed in paragraph 3.3 of the report. So which is the sale of alcohol for consumption on and off the premises. Essentially Monday to Saturday it's until midnight, and then on Sunday until 11 p.m. And recorded music, which is what's being requested currently, is Monday to Sunday until midnight. The conditions attached to the premises license can be found in Appendix B of your report, and a copy of the temporary event notice was served on the police and environmental health, and we received an objection notice from the environmental health team based on the the fact that the notice undermines the licensing objective, the prevention of crime and disorder. And you'll find a copy of the objection notice in Appendix C of your reports. We have also received additional information from the environmental health team, which has been circulated to the applicant and members, so everyone should have had sight of that before the meeting. And as we've received the objection notice, the committee now must consider the objection notice and make a determination on the TAN. And the options available to committee are to allow the licensable activities to go ahead under the TAN. As the TAN is connected with the licensed premises, there's the option of imposing one or more of the existing license conditions on the TAN, but they have to be not be inconsistent with the event if you consider them appropriate. And also, the other option is if you believe that the events would undermine the licensing objectives, you can advise that the event should not take place and give a counter notice. That's it from me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay. The next item then is for the applicant or their representative to present your case. Okay. You may call evidence in support. The applicant and any witnesses may be then be asked questions by in turn the subcommittee, the licensing officer, the responsible authorities, local residents or businesses. Okay. So if you could just turn your microphone on when you speak and give your name, please.
You going on me?
Go on.
So, I'll just snap it off. So, my name is Daniel Apsey. I'm the license holder of the premises. So, yeah, we've basically put a temporary events notice in for the bank holiday weekend. Obviously, when we came to committee and did our license originally, we had our non-standard timings removed for whatever reason. So obviously we're unable to operate past 11 o'clock on a bank holiday Sunday. And obviously the bank holidays in the hospitality trade are sort of like big days where we expect to be open and generating revenue, and customers obviously look to come out. So all we effectively put in is for a temporary event notice to cover until 1 a.m. We're not looking for anything mental till 4 a.m. or 3 a.m., anything like that. We just want to get that extra sort of hour or two in where we're actually able to be open to customers. In relation to, obviously, one thing to note, if you look at our sort of license, which is, there's a couple of like odd sort of like things on the timing. So on the Sunday, we can actually open until 12:30 playing music, which seems to be the basis of what the majority of the complaints are around sort of noise. We play live music till 12, but we're obviously curtailed with the sale of alcohol. So obviously from a business point of view, we look at, well, we can have music on and we can pay for these live acts to come in and perform, but we can't generate any income from the bar take-ins. So we're just looking really to extend that so the alcohol is in line more with the entertainment side of the license. Obviously, I totally appreciate the concerns we've got from environmental health, and we have been working with them for the last numerous months to try and mitigate any sort of noise complaints. That's ongoing as it stands, and we're waiting on noise consultants and things like that to come back to us with some dates. Yeah, that's pretty much the basis of it, really. We're just looking to open on bank holiday and open for that extra period of time in line with other aspects of our license.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Does your colleague wish to speak? Oh, I think you're okay. All right, thanks. Well, first of all, then, if the councillors, if my colleagues here, would like to ask questions from Mr. Apsey.
I've nothing, no, thank you.
Nothing? What about Councillor James?
Yeah, I mean, reading between the lines here, you've had plenty of time to get back in touch with the council, haven't you? When the notices have been served on you, I see you haven't responded to the council. There was notices, I believe, served on you. Were there? Let me go into this a minute, please.
Yeah, go on.
Excuse me a minute. The objection notice.
Are you referring to the abatement notices?
Yeah. Yeah, I've served a notice on you.
So,
For the share regulatory services.
are you in relation to the abatement notice, are we? Yeah, the one was served last year, I think it was around October time, was it? That has been sort of, we've gone back on numerous correspondence with that back and forth. The actual other noise abatement notice is actually in dispute at the minute with the council because we don't feel it was properly served. It was served on a member of my staff and I never had sight of it. So I've actually brought that up with the local authority and that's in dispute. But as I said, there has been ongoing dialogue between ourselves and various members of the local authority in relation to noise complaints. We've had in-person meetings. People come out to the premises to have a look. We've ordered and paid for a new door that's been installed. We're taking time logs and we actually go over to the complainant's premises, not actual premises, but outside the premises with our own recording device, giving decibel levels and things like that. And we've got a full spreadsheet between that since, when was it, last year?
Certainly the last 3 months.
Yeah, the last 3 months of data we've collected. So and we've got staff regularly going across to the complainant's property or adjacent to their property, taking recordings. Yeah, and then in relation to you want the objection from, or just the abatement notices?
How far down the road are you with this noise consultant?
I spoke to him on Monday. He's meant to get back to me yesterday. I didn't get back to him. I chased him up. He didn't answer, and I rang him again this morning. But he was speaking to another person who was more local as well to try and get the equipment here so we can do all the bits and bobs that we needed to do. But yeah, so the last conversation I had was Monday. I'm waiting to hear back.
Kirsty, would you like to make comments?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Right. No, I think, Helen, do you want to make some comments now, please?
Good morning, my name is Helen Pembridge and I'm the team manager for pollution control in Bridgend. Since the premises licence was granted in October last year, we witnessed a breach of the statutory abatement notice that had been served on the 26th of October. This was in relation to the first floor loft bar. We also, at the same time, witnessed a noise nuisance coming from the second floor top deck bar. This resulted in a notice being served. It was served on the manager, and as Mr. Apsey has just mentioned, he is disputing the service of that notice, and it is something we'll look at after this hearing and get back to him. This current Saturday, the 26th of April, following further complaints received, we also witnessed noise again from the top deck bar, and officers were in attendance between 10:15 and 11 o'clock. We had begun preparing a prosecution in relation to the breach of the first notice, but we put this on hold when Rodri Apsey contacted us, indicating a willingness to cooperate by obtaining a report from an acoustic consultant to help identify measures that would help to manage the noise. This was first discussed in January of this year, and emails were exchanged referring to the appointment of a consultant, but unfortunately in March this still hadn't progressed. Complaints were still continued then to be received, so we arranged for a meeting to take place at the premises with Daniel and Rodri Apsey in place on the 11th of March, and it was myself and a colleague, Helen Williams, was in attendance then. We gave general advice then about managing the noise, and following that we sent an email giving details of local consultants and what we expected from them. We offered to speak directly with the consultant once appointed and facilitate access to the complainant's property for assessment to be completed, but to date we haven't been contacted with regards to this. When the officer was attended on this Saturday, the 26th, they could see the main door and the windows to the top deck were open at this time as well. Also on this occasion, noise from patrons outside of the premises was also clearly audible in the complainant's property. We are therefore objecting to the TENS as we feel it will underline the licensing objective of preventing public nuisance, and as insufficient information has been given to how the noise will be controlled from the premises. Okay.
Thank you for that. Do the members have questions for Helen, please? No? Okay. Kirsty, you do not want to ask any questions, do you? No? Okay. Yeah, would you like to respond to?
Yeah, just wanted to clarify a couple of points there. It was like, obviously, I'm guessing when you say complaints, I think you meant the complaint from the one person who's been ongoingly complaining. Yeah.
Yes, it is the
So is it one person?
one complainant
Yeah,
at the moment.
who's
Yes.
consistently complaining, not just about noise, but other things, and there's sort of a backstory there, just to obviously bring to your attention. I know you said windows, but I think it was just one window, which is a small window, which is above. Because none of the windows open in the premises apart from one, which is a small one like that big, which you can just push open to get ventilation in. Which, granted, a customer obviously opened it because it was quite warm over the weekend, and it wasn't spotted by a member of staff. But we're not there with big windows opening. It was just one little window. But my question is, how does from your sort of point of view, what do you need to see from us, and how do you feel that stopping our sale of alcohol is going to mitigate any noise complaints, being as the main noise problem is the music, which is still, we've got a license to play until 12:30 anyway.
As I say, on this occasion, there was noise from the patrons outside the premises, and that was clearly audible in the complainant's property by the officer that attended then. So it was felt that as well wasn't being managed, but it is, as it has been before, it's been mainly the noise from music at the premises then.
So obviously from outside, how are your officers distinguishing what's noise from our patrons and just people in the street in general? It is a busy thoroughfare for the town centre, and this is a bit of a two-pronged question. Is it truly by us closing at 11 o'clock, which is the sort of height of where we're at our busiest, by closing, stopping the sale of alcohol, and then kicking everybody out at 11 o'clock, we're surely creating more noise on the street with a mass exodus of people, as opposed to sort of like them dispersing over a 2-hour sort of period?
So the first part of your question, the officer could clearly see the patrons outside your premises then, and it was determined it was your patrons. It wasn't passing traffic then going back and forth. It was from there. And with regards to the other part of your question, if they were leaving, that would be over a short period of time. They would be left, and then it would no longer be a noise issue then later on.
Say, to go back on that, is that obviously 11 o'clock, with our doors shut at 11:30, so there would only be anyone queuing as such outside until that point. Obviously, I don't still understand how you can distinguish who our patrons are or not. I'm guessing people who visited the premises and potentially leaving. And then, like I said, obviously, a short period of time, but we've got to get 200-300 people out of our premises at 11 o'clock on block, which I think is going to cause more problems than, doing it over a period of time. Because I say 11 o'clock is peak time, and we're shutting things down and stopping alcohol sales at peak time and kicking everyone out. And like I said, but if the main thing is music, we're still able to play music until 12:30. So it doesn't really make sense where the sale of alcohol is having a massive impact on the noise sort of complaints.
I just think I've answered the question already. It was the patrons from your premises. The officer has clearly seen that, so we haven't had a chance to provide her statement yet because it was only witnessed on the weekend, so that was prior to the deadline of getting the information over to yourselves then, but that's something we can discuss with you once we've got all the details then.
Okay, thank you for that. Next item is closing statements, and that's for the objectors, which is you, Helen. Do you want to make any closing statements to add anything you already said?
I haven't got anything further to add then.
At this point, we have to close the meeting and then. Okay, thank you. Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen, for coming. We will close this meeting now. We will discuss it, and you will be notified very quickly of the response.
Sorry, Chair,
Okay.
they do need
Sorry?
they need an opportunity to give a closing statement as well. That's all. So if they want to say
Yeah,
that.
if you want to say anything in support of your case, please say it now.
No, I think we covered most things. Trying to rack my brain.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
Thanks for coming, and the officers will see you out now.